I need a Zach Ertz touchdown.
Really soft bones.
Inside shoulder hard, right? Watch the space he's able to create.
Commanders family, we have a special show for you to start your new year off right. Our Commanders clinch the playoffs, baby. We take a look at some of our best plays from our home win over the Atlanta Falcons. And the captain, Big Fletch, sets the tone for the playoffs. And the guys give their New Year's resolutions as we head into 2025. And Commanders family, it all starts right now. Now, before anything else, let's start the show with our can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. Bram and Big Fletch, what y'all got for us?
Two tight ends to the left. Here's the staff team going to throw for it. He does. Into the end zone.
What a catch.
Zach Ertz, who wants to go to the playoffs? Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! They win in overtime! We'll see you in the postseason!
Are you freaking kidding me? This is a missile by Jaden Daniels, an absolute missile to Zach Ertz, where only he can catch it.
Welcome into Command Center. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Santana Moss, Logan Paulson, and Fred Smoot. Fellas, we clinched the playoff berth, baby. We clinched the playoff berth with a big win over the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling?
Man, I feel good. I mean, my heart was beating out my chest, but at the same time, man, it was a great feeling just knowing that we finally got it done. And, you never want to be in a situation where you say you got 2 games to do it. So it didn't matter if we do it now or no, let's get it done now. So I'm glad those guys had the same mindset and finished strong, man, and got the dub.
Listen, speechless.
Speechless. For the first time.
What? No, fellas, listen to this. Not only are we going to the playoffs, you talking about 11 wins, possibly 12 wins. Haven't did that since 91. Mark Rippon days. You talking about decade after decade after decade. Now I understand why the fans don't know how to celebrate. Now I understand why they don't know what to do with themselves, because I don't. But I can say this. This new regime has me excited about the future, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do in the playoffs.
Yeah, man, to say that I'm happy is an understatement. Like, there's something like just kind of consistent, ecstatic. It's a huge moment for the organization and the way they've done it. Right, the adversity that they faced, the young roster, the young quarterback, new staff. It's just such a unique moment, and it's just special. It's special to be back here, kind of playing playoff football again for this organization. So it's a cool.
They don't know how to give up, and they don't know how to lose. That's a good mixture right there.
And fellas, y'all know Logan don't get too high too low. On the field after that game,
he was like a little kid in the candy
He's
store.
still high-fiving me.
He's so excited. That man picked me up on the field to hurt my back.
It was great, man.
He drove by in the car and rolled the window down. Give me a high five. What did he do?
And a lot of that energy and that environment has to do with our amazing Commanders fans. We asked y'all to show up and show out, and that's exactly what y'all did. And not only did y'all show up, but our Commanders showed up as well. So y'all know the drill, fellas. Let's get into some of these highlights. It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. And fellas, Fred gonna like this. We starting with defense. Quan Martin out the gate.
Where's he throwing that ball?
The thing about it is 2 man under. So, the cornerback's playing under. That's what I want to get on him about. Quan, how do you let Michael Penix take you out? Look at this play right here. That's good hands right here. But this is when we're going to talk in the DB room. What are you thinking? That's a hand right there, my friend.
Well, listen, there was a lot of good plays on defense, but of course, some great plays on offense. Tanner, you talked about those other guys getting involved. Olamide Zaccheaus had himself a game. Here is a touchdown from Jaden Daniels.
Oh, JD5. Hey, when I saw this, I was like, man, they got him. And then I saw Zaccheaus leak out. I said, they done put a wrinkle to this thing. Because so many weeks we done ran this play and been stopped time after time and time again. I'm glad they put the wrinkle in. I'm glad Zaccheaus was the one who scored on it. Man, what a throw.
And the ball placement's excellent on that, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's tremendous.
And I think Zaccheaus on the low hate birds. He did it to the Eagles and he did it to the I don't know about it. He don't like birds.
Somebody else that might not like birds either is Zach Ertz, and that is our next highlight. He got 2 touchdowns here. It's his first one of the night.
This looks like attack, Tana. Just work the middle of the field, kind of play one-on-one basketball. Great protection. Nice ball there.
I've been saying just post
Look at him,
up
watch him.
right
Yeah, he's
there.
going to work in here, play across, come back out. There's grass. Way to find your guy. Awesome job.
That's just patience right there, too. Way to get open.
Way to give your quarterback a target. Give him something.
And not
to
only
throw.
get open, man, strong hands. You got a guy like Bates there, man, he's one of the best defenders in the game.
And our running attack.
Yeah.
Got it to it, but it wasn't Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah.
It was Chris Rodriguez making the most. That boy is hungry, and he fought his way to get this touchdown. Oh, that boy couldn't be stopped.
The guy got manners, to tell that first guy, excuse me, I'm headed to the end zone. Anytime you want to get out my way, you can't, excuse me. And we got to know this. This guy's hungry, like Tanner said. Number change. It was cut off the team, and now he getting a chance to make plays. You got to love that.
Look at the blocking
Look
there,
at these
man.
offensive linemen working, though. That's the thing that's special about it, right? We get a little bit picked up here by Sam Cosme, get a little bit of penetration. I'm going to work through. I'm going to fight. I'm going to get the block. Got our center working downfield. Win with your man in the end zone. That's a great job.
Invite those defensive linemen to the International House of Pancakes. I enjoy that.
You got to love it. As I mentioned, Zach Ertz not got just one touchdown. He got two. Here is his second touchdown. Now, this one was a big one.
What a catch, though.
Man.
What a catch.
Man, he caught it twice, and normally you don't want to catch it twice, but I guess he knew, man, the football gods was counting on him, and they say, look, guess what? Tanner called for it, so you got to go ahead and
say Ertz might have heard you because y'all weren't in it. We were in the tunnel.
I was in the tunnel.
And Tanner's whispering to himself.
I need a Zach Ertz touchdown.
I need his touchdown.
I need a Zach Ertz touchdown.
Sure enough, like clockwork, Zach Ertz got the touchdown.
That catch is worth $1 million, my friend.
A huge game for Zach Ertz, a huge game for Jaden Daniels. Now let's hear from both of them during their post-game presses.
It's kind of the similar route that I scored against Philly, and it's just a lot of time. It's a timing throw, so it's really just a trust throw, and I run that route a ton of times with Jaden, and it's really just time on task to be able to build that trust down there in the red zone because you don't have time to really just sit back there and pat the ball because the windows are so small. So we just ripped that play a bunch. The coaches have designed it differently this week than they did a few weeks back. It was just Jaden threw the ball about 1,000 miles an hour. He was saying I was going to catch it or no one was going to catch it, and thankfully I did.
It's man coverage. I knew they were going to keep eyes on Terry, and I knew Zach had a one-on-one, and we repped that so many times. I knew he was going to win on it. He was going to make the catch, and it was going to be game over.
Now it's time for your winning numbers presented by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Our veteran tight end Zach Ertz has been a huge addition to the team this season with 61 receptions for 610 yards and 6 touchdowns. 2 of those came in the big win at home over the Atlanta Falcons that helped us clinch the playoffs. Logan, I know you in that film room just chomping at the bit to break down some plays. Take it away, bro.
Thanks, Brian. Let's get into this breakdown. Let's get into the film. And this, I think, is such a fun breakdown for me this week because it's about the little things that become big things. And let's start with this, right? Everyone remembers this play, a little check down to Jeremy McNichols, but I see a play where the details are massively important here, right? So this is 4th down, 4th and 5. We got man coverage here. Let's talk about it. Man. We got man from depth. We're matching here. We're going to get a player to drop out underneath this in cut here. That's where we're trying to work the ball, this double spin concept. It's not great. So we're going to see this right here. Awesome job by Jaden Daniels checking it down. But let's talk about Jeremy and what he does so exceptionally well here. So against the Saints, they got on this exact same pressure. And the number one thing when you do the chipper is to chip the widest rusher, which in this case is this guy on the line of scrimmage. I love McNichols' awareness here to move his body, hit the inside shoulder, create a little space. Because look at the offensive line. They're accounting for the 4 pass rushers, right? So if I do that, and if I make sure that I chip the widest rusher, I give the quarterback an actual pocket. Think about if I chip the actual defensive end like it probably says in the playbook, I'm actually wasting a chip block by working in here. So great job by McNichols working to the perimeter, chipping the outside shoulder, and getting to his spot. And then we talk about effort, attitude, opportunity here. Great job by him catching this football. He is short of the sticks right here. Awesome job on the second effort, pouring it out, ducking through, getting that first down. We possess the football. Awesome opportunity. This leads to this play by Chris Rodriguez. And, we talked to Coach on the game plan. He's talking about Chris Rodriguez, how he's impressed him in terms of staying ready. This is a great example of that, right? We're going to run a little bit of transportation. What transportation just means we're going to pin here, we're going to pull, we're going to pull. The things that kills transportation is penetration. Watch this defensive end, shoots the gap, a little bit of penetration, blocks one of the pullers. We're in trouble now. What's got to happen? Chris Rodriguez has to do a great job of bringing his own blocker, B.O.B., for this cornerback right here. Bring your own blocker. All right, buddy, I got you. Now, how did the rest of these guys get blocked? I want to point out our guy, Sam Cosmi. This is a heroic effort, right? Again, we just talked about a little bit of messy right here, right? Sam Cosmi is going to get on his horse, run as fast as he can, and block the next most dangerous player. Look at him. He's jumping through here. He's got a little high step, working through here. Great job, Sam. Awesome job getting a piece, creating a seam there, and look at the center here. Great job also working through and winning with your man in the end zone. That is elite effort. That's being on the details to provide a touchdown for Chris Rodriguez, and great job by Chris here, finishing with your pad square, getting in the end zone. So McNichols to C-Rod, love the detail there and all that stuff. Okay. This, to me, is one of those plays, right? Remember, everyone talked about the play versus New Orleans where, Luke McCaffrey doesn't quite get the defensive end cut off. Watch Bryson Tremaine come down here. Do you think he got the coaching point? Do you think he remembers the details? It's the same exact play. I'm going to block this defensive end. Boom. Create this edge here, right? Seal the edge. Jaden Daniels going to ball fake and then boot out. He is not going to be able to get to the perimeter here if this block isn't absolutely excellent. Bryson Tremaine on a defensive end, that should be a mismatch. Great job by Bryson getting this done, because watch what happens when you do what you're supposed to do. Jaden Daniels on a 4th and 2. Oh, man, using that athleticism, getting that first down. But that all starts with knowing the coaching point, executing the technique at a high level, and giving the guy with the Superman cape on an opportunity to make a play. So great job there. That, again, small details, right? Doing what you're supposed to do, executing at a high level, leads to this play. This is just a simple kind of find your best matchup here. And a little bit of man coverage. They want to play here. We got man across the board. What am I going to do? I got to make sure I can sit in my pocket, especially in the red zone, and win. Find a matchup. So great job by the offensive line here. We're working together. We got a great pocket here. Watch Jaden Daniels. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome job. Great job here by Zach, though, too. Understanding what we're working on here and understanding I got to beat this guy in man-to-man coverage. I'm going to go up. I'm going to collision with my inside shoulder hard, right? Watch the space is able to create. Boom. I won now, right? Great job by Jaden Daniels, understanding that he's got the space, and great job here by Zach, too, not coming out flat. We're working downhill to the football, and those are the details that lead to touchdowns and lead to the Washington Commanders making it as a playoff football team. So I love what we're seeing here. Obviously, details are the things that makes this thing go, and I can't wait to watch them versus the Dallas Cowboys this week.
Shout out to my guy, Logan Paulson, for always taking care of us in the film room. Somebody that also always takes care of us and wants to get us ready for some playoff action is the captain, London Fletcher. It's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek. Your ticket to great Commander seats. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
When I look at this team and the energy, the excitement at the stadium against the Falcons, just from the moment that you arrive to the stadium, all the cars, lined up trying to get into the stadium, walking through the concourse, the energy, the buzz, the excitement, that the sense of pride that this fan base has of being a Washington Commanders fan. Like, we have a team, and to think that we're able to accomplish this in year one of the Alan Peters, Dan Quinn era beginning here in Washington. I look at this team, and you look at, they can beat anybody. The way Quinn has them, believing in, it doesn't matter who we're playing, where we're playing, when we play them, we will be able to be in this game to resolve with this football team. Obviously, Jaden Daniels gets a lot of the credit, and he's been beyond spectacular. But when you look at this team, the brotherhood, they are a football team. There's moments in every single game where it's the special teams making the play, it's the defense making the plays, it's the offense making the plays, it's the coaching staff and the adjustments that they make that have made us to where we've won 11 games, we've clinched the playoff victory, clinched the playoff spot. And I feel like the sky's the limit for this football team. It doesn't matter who we play, I feel like we got a shot because of Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, and the way this team plays football.
Shout out to the captain, London Fletcher, for always taking care of us. Now, here's a look at the playoff picture as it stands heading into the final week of the regular season. Yes, our Commanders have clinched the playoff berth. However, there are still a lot of moving pieces. So this final week of the NFL season will be huge to see where our Commanders end up playing for that first wild card round. Fellas, you see those playoff scenarios, and we have a heck of a scenario this weekend because a win could mean 6th seed and playing the LA Rams. But a loss could change things as well. A loss could mean we're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lot of things going on. So fellas, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You know we love speculation. Pick your poison. What is the perfect scenario for us headed into the playoffs?
I mean, for me, it's got to be win this football game. Because I would much rather play the LA Rams or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously, if LA loses. So, and again, I just look at those matchups and I say those matchups favor us, right? LA's offense with Matthew Stafford kind of showing, still a great football player, but not the player he was a couple years ago. Not super dynamic in terms of explosive playmakers. Their defense is what they just played in Atlanta, so something we feel comfortable with. And you look at Tampa Bay, same thing. Explosive offense, but that Todd Bowles defense, I'd love to see Jane Daniels get another crack at that. So to me, those matchups are the ones that I really, really want to see. But again, you know, if you play Philly, you play Philly. But like in terms of saying, hey, this gives us a shot to run a little bit deeper, I think those teams are better matchups.
Tampa is no easy routes in the playoffs. Let's start there. All right, so if I had to say it is an easier street to come down, I would say Tampa. We played them the first game of the year. We're not the team that they played in week 1. They're not the team we played in week 1. They have a lot of key injuries on their team. Chris Godwin out. That to me would be the team that we can say, all right, let's go, blow to blow with you. But I'm going to say the unpopular answer. Philly. We ain't scared to go to Philly twice in a year. Think about this. The first time we went to Philly and went to Philadelphia, we let you off the hook. Right? Remember that. Then you came to Northwest Stadium and we taught you a lesson. Right? So I don't care about fighting my big brother 3 times in a week. It happens all the time. Sometimes it's good to play against the people you are familiar with than the ones that you're not familiar with. And don't forget about this. Philly is in a Super Bowl wonder. But the Rams have won a Super Bowl with that head coach, with that quarterback, making them very dangerous. Tell them what you think.
Well, I'm a little old school when it comes to it, man. I'm one of the guys that once you get me to the dance, I really don't care. You know, spin the wheel. I mean, wherever we lie, we gonna play. And I don't really get caught up into whether we're gonna face somebody that we have probably good matchup against or somebody who we don't want to go against because they're so much stronger than us. I just want to get to the dance. So first we got to take care of business. Handle ourselves this week. And then wherever we may lay, man, we got to go play. And I think you give yourself a chance to understand that when you get there, you got to fight. So regardless of how strong, how not so strong it is, you got to win the game. And so once you're in, now you got to go out there and try to win.
And fellas, I got to imagine as players, y'all felt the same way, right? Like y'all not paying attention to what this game means, who you guys are going to play against, right? You guys are just out here focused on the next game. Is that true?
Just give us the address where the football game is going to be played. That's all we care about. And think about the playoffs. We can't run from anybody. Like if we advance, we're eventually going to play a team that was better than the last team. It's one of those things you can't dodge right now. Right now, you got to be willing to take on any and everybody that's in the playoffs. And I think this team is very much capable of getting that done.
I think like Dennis said, though, like we talk about playoffs and this team, that team, matchups, all that stuff, but really, like, let's beat Dallas. And that's the most important thing because, again, it gives us a better opportunity to give us more matchups and, again, more favorable matchups, I would say, right? And if we control what we can control and win this game, we're in a great spot.
Nothing will feel better going into the playoffs than a big win over the Dallas Cowboys. No matter the scenario, we need to get a win on Sunday over the Cowboys. It's the second meeting with our rivals this season, but this time on their turf. We dropped that first meeting in a wild finish at Northwest Stadium, and you know the guys are going to want to get a little revenge for that one. A win locks up the 6th seed in the playoffs, but more importantly, we just want to beat those Cowboys. Now here's a look at how these two teams stack up. You see the Commanders got them beat in almost every statistical category. However, you see those passing yards for the Dallas Cowboys. Will be very interested to see what they are able to do against our very tough defense.
Trey is excellent player, and I really enjoyed spending time with him. He's a fantastic athlete, can work outside the pocket, the keepers, throwing on the run, all of that. And so we prepared a little bit when we saw him in the first game, but he's really an athletic, outside the pocket, can move, he can rip it. So he's a talented guy. He has always been somebody, this guy is tough as hell. And injuries have derailed some of his seasons, but he was always one of the most competitive players. So it's good to see a player like him, the perseverance, the resilience to stay true to it, because I think people would have known him more had he stayed healthier early, because he has always been the dog as a ball carrier. And so in this league, if you average 4.7 yards a carry with that many, like, you're a real one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not how we wanted the first game to end, but, you know, the stuff that happens, they got really good players over there, very talented players, and, you know, you got to go out there and be physical with them. That's what they're going to do with us. So it's going to be a heavyweight match, and it's going to be a good one to be a part of.
Time for securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Fellas, y'all know how we do this. What is the biggest factor in securing a win against the Dallas Cowboys?
Talk to me.
For me, it's got to be stopping the run. I think when you look at the last matchup, Rico Dowdle, how they ran the football, they had a bunch of kind of backup offensive linemen working together, banged up, but they were still able to run the football. So, to me, can you play kind of with that consistency in the front four?
Yeah.
And then at the linebacker level, at the safety level, make sure you're fitting runs correctly. Because, again, I don't think Cooper Rush is good enough to win from the pocket consistently.
Yeah.
So let's make him do that. Let's stop the run. I think that's got to be the number one top shelf priority for us in this game.
I think special team has to be special. The last time we played this team, we give up 14 points on kick returns, period. Yeah. Then you're talking about missed field goals. You're talking about other little mishaps we had. I think special teams get back to what you was doing early in the year, and that's being the best special teams in the NFL.
Or even the last couple of weeks, they've improved significantly. So again, that was kind of a little bit of a blip, I think, for everybody, for the defense, for the offense, struggled a bit, special teams, and then they kind of got back to form. But yes, do what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Be the team that we know you can be.
I think what stands out to me is just mistake-free football. I think right now when you're going into the postseason, you want to be trending a little differently than we have been the last few weeks. A lot of penalties, man.
Yeah.
We can't afford to play good and then find ourselves in a hole because of penalties. So we got to go in there knowing that we're going to somebody else's backyard. Yeah. You know what? They hate to hate us. I mean, they love to hate us. We love to hate them. Yep. You have to make sure that you're playing mistake-free football so you can get a W.
You know, piggybacking off what Tanner said about those playing mistake-free and penalty-free, if you look at us, you know, in games where we're dominating, we're ahead of the chains. And it has a lot to do with us not having to be first and 15 and starting from behind. So, yes, playing a clean game, especially on defense, man. We had to, these pass interferences is happening, and it's happening in multiple times in games where we're just not playing as clean as we should. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that we're not comfortable in certain situations when it comes to coverage.
I think that's 100% right. And I don't care how good you are, you can't win when you're behind the sticks. And so to Tana's point, again, when you look at some struggles that they had in this last game, you know, versus the Atlanta Falcons, they're putting themselves behind the eight ball. And one of the things we've talked about, Tana, you talked about this a ton, is can we run the football and can we possess the football? Can we stay efficient? And the number one hindrance to that offensively is penalties. Yes. Pre-snap penalties, and again, holds, things like that. So 100% Fred, Tana, that's a great point.
Over 100 yards given up due to penalties in that game against the Falcons. Now, Logan, you were always in the film room. What adjustments can we make to make that less penalties, less mistakes in Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I think Dan does a great job of, and I think maybe you can prioritize that as a player, is just basically saying this is what the crew is going to call. And one of the things that in talking with guys in the locker room that came out was like, oh yeah, this crew was going to call a lot of holdings. They were going to make it a big point of emphasis. And it showed up, right? And so if you know the crew's going to do that, can you change your playing style to accommodate that, right? And I think the other thing Dan's done a great job of is just being detailed, right? Being on the details, because Tana, you know this, like when I'm blocking a screen, I'm over trying, and I'm not in the right position, like I'm gonna get a hold, right? And so make sure I'm on the details, make sure I'm in a good position, make sure my alignment's locked in to help me kind of mitigate some of those unforced errors.
And it felt like last game was the other guys, like we talked about a lot, Tana, especially in pregame. You talked about those other guys getting involved, Zach Ertz, Olamide. Who do you want to see get off and be a Cowboy killer in Dallas? Because we know Terry's going to get his, but who do you want to see from those other guys?
I mean, whoever want to stand up, you know what I mean, and be that guy. I think we have a lot of guys, and speaking of the other guys, Zacchaeus, Crowder. I told you, one of the guys I love the most is seeing Crowder out there do his thing. But that running back crew, man, when you see Rodriguez get in there and say, look here, man, I done been cut. They done took my number from me. Just give me a chance. And when you see those guys going out there and fighting and clawing and willing their way to and helping this team win, you know, you have a different kind of appreciation just knowing what they've been through. So I feel like this team is built with a lot of those type of guys. And you never know who's going to be that guy. Whether it's going to be somebody from the tight end group, the running back group, or the receiver group. We have an offense full of them, and on the defensive side as well. But whoever's ready for the challenge, go do it.
And I think that's another great point, Tana. It's just like we are at a point in the year where everyone's kind of banged up. You know, we're missing our number 2 receiver. We've got issues at running back, and guys got to kind of fill those roles. So it doesn't matter who it's going to be, but it's going to be somebody. And Cliff's done a great job of helping kind of maximize those opportunities for guys down the roster, and guys have stepped up and met the challenge. So I think it's going to be kind of flavor of the day, flavor of the week, and the team's done a great job accommodating.
Well, the thing about it is when a guy misses a game, it's an opportunity for somebody else to become a household name. We seen Zacchaeus for the last 2 weeks say, who ain't got a number 2? I can go out here and I can make plays all over the field.
Impressive to see, man. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, like I'm blown away by him. And the rebirth of Zach Ertz. I know he just had twins, but he looking like he's 28 again, you know?
Let me hold a dollar.
Yeah. Come on, way to get that $700. Let's go out here and get these things. So it's showing the guys saying, you know what? When my number is called, when my name is called, I'm going to not only be there for my guy number 5, I'm going to be there for the rest of my teammates. And I think that's going to really do well for us going into the playoff, because as a defensive player, we only going to step back when we don't know who you're going to try to attack us with. And everybody like, Terry. I'm so glad that Jaden doesn't force the ball to Terry all the time. He said, you know what? I'm going to look for others.
And Fred, since you mentioned Jaden, he played hero once again. We talk about every single week his progression. What do y'all want to see from him his last regular season game of his rookie season?
I want to see Jedi 5 go out there and do what he's been doing the whole entire year, and just playing Jedi mind tricks with every defense in the NFL, understanding that nothing is too big for him, nothing is too small for him. JD5, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Cannot wait to see this game in Dallas. So you know what? Let's check out some of these game day details. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. from AT&T Stadium out in Dallas. It'll be on Fox. And, of course, you can catch our radio crew on Big 100. That's Bram Weinstein, London Fletcher, and the legend Logan Paulson. Then the best pregame show for Commander Land. Game Day Live will go live at 12 p.m. and then postgame live, of course, immediately after the game. And speaking of game day details, how about some Pro Bowl game details? Here are your Commanders players selected to the Pro Bowl this season. That's right, Jaden Daniels, his rookie year, he's a Pro Bowler. And then, of course, you had to bring his running mate, 1-7, Terry McLaurin, also will be in Orlando this year. You can watch them during the Pro Bowl game on Sunday, February 2nd.
Here's our New Year's resolution. London has promised not to actually push me out of the booth during big moments in 2025.
What a catch. Zach Ertz, who wants to go to the playoffs? Touchdown!
Well, I don't know that I made that resolution, but I will say this. My resolution is I will bring even more energy into the booth.
Here's the other resolution for the team that we expect. Every season starting in 2025 is going to feel like the 2024 season.
You know what? I got one more resolution. My resolution is I'm going to be kinder to Fred Smoot.
My resolution is I'm not going to be kinder to Fred Smoot. Happy New Year.
My New Year's resolution is to get in better shape. As they always say, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help anybody else. So I feel like I take care of me if I want to take care of other people. That's my New Year's resolution.
My New Year's resolution is to work out more with Logan, because every time he comes in the studio, he gives me a big hug and almost like crushes my spine. I have really soft bones. So I feel like if I'm in the gym more with Logan and we're broing out and doing squats together, we can come in, high five, dap it up a little bit, and I'll just be one of the guys.
All right, fellas, y'all heard from the other guys on their New Year's resolutions. For some reason, Fred just always gonna get shot at. I don't know what that. So, Fred, we're gonna save you for last. Logan, what is your New Year's resolution?
Because Fletch is so mean to you, I might have to change mine to just be nicer to Fred. Because he's always coming at you, man. What's going on? I thought you guys were friends.
I thought we were. The guy been on the heater lately, man.
Yeah, so be nicer to Fred. Bring him up. He needs to be more confident.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying?
Build me up.
I wish y'all knew what went down behind the scenes for us to even have these conversations. Tanner, what?
Since we building Fred, I'm gonna put on my Fred voice. Get more money. I just want want the green, baby. However means necessary. I want the green. But no, I never really, pick New Year's resolutions. I just feel like as long as I'm moving in the right direction, putting my first foot forward, getting up, doing what I got to do, you know what I mean? That's good enough for me. I don't like writing stuff down. I don't like thinking about nothing. But like I said, I'm getting the money. One way or another.
I like that one right here, Fred.
Hey, I wish it for everybody, not just me. Health and wealth. Health and wealth go together.
Is that a resolution?
I want it to be everybody's New Year resolution. I
appreciate that.
And I got one that's very unique. I want to really get to spend some time with the real Iron Man, Kyle Ripken. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's what I really want to do. I want to spend some time with him.
That's your New Year's resolution.
That's my New Year's resolution. I want to do it with the real Kyle Ripken. I want it with the real Iron Man.
What?
You understand me? That's what I want to do. Because London Fletcher calls himself the Iron Man, but we all know who the real Iron Man is.
So this is a shot at London, really.
It was 100% a shot at London,
It's a
the real
shot.
Iron Man. That is much better than you saying you want to be a worse person because you're so much better than the rest of us. I appreciate you changing it up and taking a shot at London Fletcher. One thing that ain't never gonna change is our love for the Commanders fans. We hope y'all have a happy new year. 2025 is going to be great. We got some playoff football on the way. For your Command Center crew, Logan Paulson, Fred Smoot, Santana Moss, Brian Coble Jr., we out this thing.